in my mind, if you're marrying someone, you're done. You're out of the game. You are committing to someone.
That's trust right there.
Yeah,
like,
that's saying it's going to be me and you for the rest of our life.
You and I are committed. We've got a joint saver. We're putting everything together as one.
Yeah.
So
here's where I think it should be completely scrapped. I don't care which side. If one cheats, forget the 50-50.
Oh, yeah, agreed.
I don't care.
Agreed.
Completely forget.
No, you have to be, spot on.
There shouldn't be a 50. All right, Bass, biggest regrets with money. What is something you've spent money on and you've just gone the next day, oh, that was a waste. That was silly. Shouldn't have done that.
There's a lot of shoes that I've bought.
A lot of shoes.
Yeah, sort of impulse buys.
Yep.
Just because at the time, very materialistic, was like, oh, those brand new Jordans or those brand new Yeezys are pretty good. I've currently got a pair of Jordan 5s.
Yep.
Oregon Ducks, they're called. That's the colorway. They're green. I bought them for $500.
Okay.
Yeah, haven't worn them.
Yeah.
They're just in the box. Part of me is like, because resale.
Yep.
The other part of me is just like, I'm just really lazy and I don't know what I can style them with. Because I was like, they look grouse. I'm going to get them.
Yeah.
And now I'm sort of like, no, shit. And probably like 90% of the single player PlayStation games that I bought, and I play like maybe 3 hours and then I just don't touch them ever again.
Especially since at the start they're like $90, $80 these days.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Games. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I thought with shoe collecting, it always confused me a little bit where if you are going to wear them, there's some shoes where they will only go with some certain outfits.
Oh, 110%.
Like, you can't wear them for everyday use. There is so many that you need. If they're yellow, you have to have a yellow shirt.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. I think more so with the shoes now. I'm just going to wear them.
Yeah?
I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, the resale value is kind of cool, but realistically, you buy shoes to wear. It's not, for me, it's not a business, I guess. So it's like, in saying that though, like, I've got 2 pairs of, try and send an image to you. Maybe we can cut this in so like they can see it. But I've got 2 pairs of the Yeezy 350s, triple whites.
Yep.
I've got 1 pair that are like dead stock, so have never been worn.
Yep.
Still fresh in the box. And then I've got another pair that have been worn. They're a little bit dirty, a little bit better up. So one's like bright white, like the whiteboard behind you. Oh, sorry, in front of you, not behind you. And the other pair is maybe more at the table.
Okay.
At this table.
So how much is the most expensive shoe that you've worn around casually?
Casually? Probably...
Here and there.
I'd say probably the bone white Yeezy 500s.
Okay.
$600.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
Is that comfort $600 comfort?
I don't think it's $600 comfort because the retail price is way less than that.
Oh, okay.
But the problem is, unless you like work at Foot Locker, maybe like a JD Sports, have connections with Kanye himself, whatever, or a big celebrity, good luck getting them for retail.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I would hope that for that amount of money,
it is
the
comfy.
comfiest shoes ever.
It's definitely comfy, but the shoe itself is quite a large shoe. And it genuinely, like, if I'm walking around, like, I think they're super comfy, but it makes my foot look bloody massive. But I think the joy that I get out of it for wearing my sneakers, my shoes collection, whatever, my Nike Dunks, my Jordans, Yeezys, whatever, is more like when you're going to a shopping, like complex shopping center, whatever, and people just like look down like, oh, dude, no, and like you almost like in a weird like get off on that.
Have people done that before?
Oh, multiple times. Like, bro, 6 shoes. Like, man, like that's awesome. How much did you pay for that? So yeah, like, but it's more so those ones who are also, I suppose, like in the sneaker scene per se. Like, I suppose, like, say for like yourself, you just be like, oh, cool, man, nice kicks.
I would have.
Whereas in my head, it's like, no, mate, these are like $300.
These are very good kicks. If you get anywhere near them,
exactly.
I think the most I've ever gone out and spent on shoes was like maybe $150 on white Nikes. I wore them to a nightclub, and I got.
The raspberry vodka.
There was raspberry vodka all over them.
Everywhere. Yeah, white shoes in a club, by the way.
Do you remember?
Don't do it.
Don't do it. But do you remember when you said you could fix them?
I could.
You said you could fix them, and I said perfect. I gave you my shoes. They came back ruined. Do you remember that? You said you'd put them through the washing machine, and they came back so fluffy and fuzzy.
Yeah, well, it works for my Converse as well. So it's like different material, man.
Because I could tell when you gave me back my shoes that even you knew, yeah, these are fucked now. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, well, I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to put them in like the washing machine. I'll do that. I'm not going to grab a toothbrush. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
I should have. In hindsight, I really should have.
Yeah.
Well, I think actually, I'm pretty sure on my phone there is a video of you in my bathtub and you're like scrubbing your shoe. You're pretty intoxicated.
Oh, okay.
And they're like, you're like giggling.
I was about to say, it's not like a common thing.
Like it's, just, were you in the bath just before with your shoes?
I found on my computer last week on my hard drive a video of me, you're in your shower, just up against the wall, drunk.
Is this the one where I'm dead?
Yeah, you're dead.
Yeah,
and I'm using the shower head to just wash you down with vomit all over you.
That was such a big night.
That was a huge night for you. I've never seen you that drunk.
Oh, mate. I was just not with the world.
I never understand how people can go out every single weekend just drinking because I hate hangovers. It's not one of those things that I can do regularly.
I must admit, hangovers for me were never an issue. Granted, I know that night I was definitely gone, and I woke up the next day and I'm like, I feel pretty seedy. Got some Subway into me, felt fine.
Yep.
So I actually smelled some Chinese food that really churned my stomach, believe it or not. I was like, I can't. The smell of it just made me like want to throw up.
Yeah.
But I still woke up the next day and I wasn't like, oh, my head hurt. I was just more like, pretty tired.
See,
and that's how I was for the longest time. But now the other side of 25, man, you don't, like, if I don't get enough sleep, like, I've been finding it very rough. The past few weekends, I've been, like, going out, having a few drinks with, like, some mates and whatnot, some 21st, 18s, like, gatherings and all that. And it's, like, 3 to 4 hours sleep. Granted, by the way, I'm really odd. 3 to 4 hours, I can usually wake up and actually feel pretty good. I know a lot of people can't.
I hate you for that.
And I personally don't think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And all that, because I used to nap a lot after work. I don't do it anymore. but like it used to be like a really bad thing, man. Like
your mum's watching or something. I'm not nap anymore.
Well, like I used to finish work, I come home and I would just crash, and the next thing I know, it's 9 o'clock at night, and it's just like shit, because I know I'm probably not going to go back to sleep till 1.
Yeah.
My first alarm for work's going off at like 10 to 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
I don't know,
if I get anywhere under 5 hours sleep, there is no going back. I will have to somehow sleep in my car.
See, that's crazy to me, because I reckon 6 to 5, mate, that is unreal.
Yeah, I got a couple of mates who like
unreal.
that as well.
Like,
they just need 6 or 5.
It's ridiculous. I wouldn't recommend, by the way, like 3 hours sleep. Like, it's really not great.
Long term, it's definitely not.
Like last weekend, like the weekend before this current weekend, I went out Saturday night, got home at 2, had like 3 hours sleep. Granted, I actually had 3 hours sleep before doing this today. And last weekend, I felt like amazing. Like, get to work at 7, I'm feeling like on top of the world. By 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I was like, get me home. Put me to bed. I am done with the day.
Yeah.
Whereas today, I don't. It's weird. Like, I don't know whether it's maybe because I actually had a break today.
Yeah.
Just had some food in me, and the good vibes and coming here and all that. But
I had a friend who did night shift, and this isn't a joke. She would have throughout her night shift. It was she would be one of the when you call 000.
Yes,
she would be one of
like
the
responders.
Yeah.
Yep.
And during her night shift, she said she would have minimum 10 coffees.
10.
She said most nights were 15.
That caffeine hit would be so because almost
too
technically
much.
like addicted.
Because
you'd have withdrawals without it.
I would feel disgusting after 3 coffees.
I think the max I've had was 2 coffees.
Yep.
My second one was like 2 scoops of like Nescafe Blend 43. Terrible, by the way.
Yeah.
And like 2 sugars, and then I think I had a Coke as well. The caffeine hit from that was actually like I felt like I was running around like Sonic speed.
It's like a drug.
It really is, man.
It is a drug,
Well, yeah, like I was running around like Sonic speed, and I was like, oh my God, I'm getting so much stuff done. Look how quick I'm talking like this, like talking really, really quick. And it wasn't until I stopped, and then all of a sudden my heart is just like, and I was like, and it kind of freaked me. I was like, I don't want that to happen again.
Well, this happened one night with you. You saw the
Yes, in the car.
Yeah,
you saw like freaking out completely before you went out, and I was like, what is going on?
Me and Lee were planning to go out clubbing. And before that, I was working, and I was like, I would love to get a good workout in before I go out. All I had on me was
a bit pre.
It was an energy drink from work, and I did 3 scoops of pre-workout.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Best.
High stim pre, you reckon, too? Because it would have had to be if you were feeling...
I went to gym. I've never had a better workout. It was one of those workouts where I do more than ever.
Yeah, you just PB, and you're like, oh my God, this is easy. This is like work.
And then on my rest, I'm jogging around the gym.
Yeah, and you're feeling like you're just like, I can't wait for tonight. I feel great. I feel good. I feel awesome. Let's do it.
I was excited. And then I get to you, and then we're in the car on the way to the club, and I went from up and about just to in the corner.
Yeah, just like a massive
shaking.
caffeine crash.
The worst.
Like, almost like major, I don't know, like stress / like anxiety just came over you, like a massive wave.
Yeah.
And it just went from like, I can't wait for tonight. I can't wait, man. Let's do shot FIFA. Let's do this. Let's do that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we're halfway to like the club and you're like, man, I don't want to go.
Yeah.
I'm freaking out. Like, and I'm like, what is going on?
It felt so weird. I don't get anxiety much. I think that night was one of the nights where I go, is this anxiety? Because it was that bad. And I was
almost
thinking,
like
what is this feeling?
Almost sort of panic attack like.
Yeah,
to a degree.
definitely.
Is probably a better way to describe
not
it.
knowing
what
my body's doing and knowing that whatever it's doing felt off.
Yeah, it doesn't feel natural.
Off. Yeah, that was the worst. But yeah, I can't do 2 reasons I can't do night out after night out after night out anymore. The money side was massive because if you go out with friends, if someone shouts you a drink, you got to shout them a drink.
Dude,
back.
that was my biggest. So last weekend, this perfect example of what you've just said. Had a great time and all that. Loved it. I was like, yeah, this is actually pretty fun. Purely because I don't do it at all anymore. Like that part of my life, I would like to think I've put to rest.
Yeah, yeah.
If it's a festival or like, a little gathering here or there.
Here and there. Yeah,
that's
if it's
awesome.
an event for
like,
some reason.
Maybe like once every 3 months. Sort of do it like that. Like,
but not every weekend like we
not
used
every
to.
week like we used to, man. It's just ridiculous. And you're spot on. I left home last weekend. I was like, wow, what a great night. Didn't really think too much about how much I myself was drinking, but also like obviously because it may get you a drink, you got to do the right thing. You don't want to be that guy that's like, you're not buying around, like the hell sort of thing. I reckon like the best part of $250, $300 later, which I know again to some people that might not seem like a lot, but when you sort of work hard for your money, and more so as well when you go from like weekends in, and you're not spending that much money, that to me I was like, fuck, I had a great time out, but I don't know if I can really justify that.
When we were going out as well, it was we had more casual work and it was a lot more carefree.
It was very like live for the weekend.
Things were not as expensive as they are now.
Oh, no way.
Not even close.
And we were pretty lucky in a sense of whether it was an Uber or a cab.
Yeah.
There was always definitely 3 of us. Yeah. So we could always split it 3 ways. But I suppose at the same time, it is a bit frustrating because I know, obviously, you used to be our guy for the Uber. Yeah. You would always book one and stuff.
Sometimes it would be very frustrating.
And I think it would be frustrating, especially when you have those mates who it's like, man, like, I'll pay you back and all that. But, like, in your head, which is cool because, like, I'd like to think, I'm usually pretty good. Like, if you're ever like, hey, man, can you just... It was this. You usually, as soon as you say it, the money's with you straight away. I prefer to do it that way. Some people don't. I prefer to. I hate knowing that I owe someone money. That's just me. But you always have that mate who's like, "Oh man, we'll get paid. I'll chat."
Oh,
and then all of a sudden, it's that $5. That seriously $5 is now $100, and they still have it. And you're like, bro, like,
yeah. Do you know what's worse? Is those mates where if it's just a small amount and they do it regularly. So let's say an Uber and it's just $10 and you're the type of person like both of us would just be like, oh, it's fine. It's
all right. $10. I'm like, whatever.
Exactly. I'm usually not going to message someone and be like, hey man, I'd like that $10. But there's some people
if it's over and over again, don't be a shit bloke.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Don't be a shit bloke. There's some guys who know that if they get in that Uber, they know, oh, I'll pay you back, but they know they're not going to try.
Yeah, not even attempt.
Not even attempt.
And then you'll see him out as well, and then you're like, oh, look, you haven't transferred me $10. And instead of, look, $10 is $10, but hey, maybe next time we're in the line, shout me something. Because you didn't pay for the Uber.
Yeah.
Just get my entry.
Yeah.
Just get me a drink when we get in.
Definitely.
They don't even want to do that. It's like, bro, like, I helped you get home.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
The best type of people are the ones who, perfect example, you've shouted them a couple of Ubers, some things happen. Either out of the blue in a couple of days or a day, you see that money in your account with a little bit extra, like as a thank you and a funny message on the CommBank or the whatever they send you. Or next time you go out, we would forget about, right? If it was $10, a lot of us would just just be like, oh, I don't even remember doing it, right? To have someone come up to you in the club and be like, hey, man, this is for the Uber last week.
Yeah.
Just buy you a drink or two. They're the best type.
Oh, dude, that's so much better. It's best way to approach it, I reckon.
It is.
It's the same as constant. Sort of like if you have a mate, for example, you and I drive quite a bit. Sometimes you'll pick me up, vice versa, and all that. And it's like for me and for us and for a few close mates, I feel it's an unwritten rule. But usually it's like, for example, you're driving me. When we get to like the shopping centre or the movies, it's like, all right, well, I'll buy you a movie ticket or I'll buy you. Like, it's just like, and I feel like it just works itself out. And like, it's a good, it's an unwritten system, but it's there. Like, you're aware of it.
Having those friends, like with me and you, even if one of us misses something here and there, like forgets to pay one, we know in our minds,
down the line
somehow it's going to come back.
Oh, and that's how it should be though. Like, I find it very hard. And almost, I wouldn't say that I get offended, but I get a bit thrown when people are like, wait, man, like, you know, and I'm like, yeah, I know that. Like, you don't, like, unless it's a substantial amount of money.
Yeah, yeah.
For the most part, it's like, man, like, I trust me, I know that I owe you $20.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was just waiting for, like, the next time that we're out, like, I'll get your own, like,
yeah.
If anything, I'll probably end up spending, like, $30, $35, $40 on you. Like, you're actually going to get a better return than what you would initially. Like, just, I'm doing it in my time. Like, just trust me.
I haven't had this happen before. Have you ever lent money to a friend and they haven't paid you back and you've had to follow it up? I would hate that.
I can't recall that I have. I don't know. There's something about it might sound a bit maybe selfish. I don't know if I like lending.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like if I'm with you and stuff and you're like, oh, shit, I'm like $10 short or $20 short. It's just like, man, no worries, I got you.
Yeah.
But if you were like, wait, man, do you mind if I just have, can I just take like, so I'm just like, oh man, I don't know. Like,
I've got a select few I'd do it for.
But there's certainly a select few.
I know that I would get it back, but I'd be the same. And I've had friends that have lent money out and they've never seen it
I've heard of the bad stories. And I think that's what detests me. And it's like, no matter how close you think you are with a person, money does funny things to people.
Well, that is a perfect point because how crazy do it gets when people die and wills. And
it gets so ugly. But even like winning the lottery, man.
Oh, that's bad.
Like you see the stories of it's like the mum bought the son a ticket or whatever, and then the mum's like, "Well, I bought the ticket, so I should get it." And it's like, yeah, but you gave, but it's like, but you gave it away to him.
Yeah,
so it's actually not your ticket now.
When it was a $3 throwaway ticket, you couldn't care less what happened.
But now that one exactly, and it just gets so ugly and misconstrued, and no, thank you.
That's the same with. I have a hate for this so much. That's the same with. Divorce is a massive one. I've changed my views a lot. I think if you're in a loving relationship and you've worked together very hard for your money, whatever happens at the end, 50-50.
I think a 50-50 split, granted it doesn't always go that way. To me,
it hardly does.
To me, though, makes perfect sense. But I've heard, and again, shout out to Impulsive, the two guests that were on the latest one again, they were saying no matter what you should have, like relationship, you should always have a prenup.
Yeah,
always, just in case shit goes south.
See, I can get that, but in my mind, if you're marrying someone, you're done. You're out of the game. You are committing to someone.
That's trust right there.
Yeah,
like,
that's saying it's going to be me and you for the rest of our life.
You and I are committed. We've got a joint saver. You know, we're putting everything together as one.
Yeah.
So
here's where I think it should be completely scrapped. I don't care which side. If one cheats, forget the 50-50.
Oh, yeah, agreed.
I don't care. Completely forget
No, you
it.
have to be, spot on.
There shouldn't be a 50-50, and there shouldn't be, whether it be the guy or the girl, they're in no right. If one isn't working and the other one has been working his ass off and the other one cheats.
Oh, then no, it's true that. No thanks.
Forget it. You don't even get a chance. It's not.
You don't get a choice. This is what you get, and you get that. But it's funny though. Speaking of like the whole split thing, because obviously where we are right now, beautiful place, beautiful house, beautiful setup. You and I were obviously going to be going halves in place and whatnot, and we actually had this discussion as well. Like, hey man, say the day comes where maybe we tried it and it was a good run.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, maybe we've had enough of each other.
Yeah.
Maybe, I got a girlfriend, you get a girlfriend. Yeah. It's just a bit like...
Something else
you know
happens.
What?
Yeah,
like, maybe her and I want to get our own place sort of thing. Because we chatted about that. We're like, oh, shit, furniture-wise, what are we going to do? And all that. And I think I found it so interesting with yourself. Not that I think you would be hard to deal with because you're not. You're not by any means. But it was just very like, we're sitting on this L-shaped couch here and you're like, well, who gets the L-shaped couch? And it's like, well, man, like, yeah, I want it, but like you've want it. So I'd just be like, no, man, like it's yours. Like, and you're like, wait, what, really? I'm like, well, yeah, man. Like, I don't know. It's the same. Yeah.
I agree. Well, I agree with you because with me and you, our personalities are extremely similar where let's say we did buy a house together and you have a girlfriend now and say you wanted to move in with your girlfriend. Me and you are very easygoing as in like, oh, look, nah, man, like, I understand where you're coming from. All right, let's split everything. I could see us going, oh, no, you have the L-shaped couch. No, you have it. Oh, well, you have the bigger couch. I'll have this. We would be very easy. Where I would find it very hard is being how we are and then being with someone who would be the complete opposite.
Yeah, and he's like, no, like, that should be yours.
That should, like, she would go, he would go, that's mine. And in your head, you're going, well, I was going to say you can have it anyway, but now it's weird that you're saying that's mine, this is mine.
Yeah.
Because
I think as well, like, and again, it is different, but I feel like with you, there's also that part of me that's like, I just really can't be asked for the no, man. So it's just like, man, if you want it, fucking, you know what, that's cool. Like, and I think as well, the way that we've done everything that you're seeing here, there's some behind the scenes, obviously, as well with our computers set up. Everything that we've done, I'm so glad that we did everything half.
Yeah.
And all that as well. So it's straight down the middle. Like, yeah, there definitely is a few things where you've obviously paid a little bit more than, and with stuff like that, man, that's where I would seriously be like, no, man, like you paid like more than, so it's yours.
Yeah.
Like that's not fair. Like you put in more than me, so like why should I get that? Like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and I always see now because as we said in a previous episode, the divorce rate is through the roof.
It's ridiculous.
And every time I listen to a podcast where someone is very successful, right? Every time they go through a divorce. But I do find it very interesting that a lot of successful people have been through multiple divorces.
Yeah.
But real quick, once they get to their second or third, they say that they just give them whatever they want and just get it over and done with as fast as possible. Because to them, it's just that negative energy that drags on for long.
And you're fighting over get it done quick.
Yeah, you're fighting over the dumbest stuff.
It really is at the end of the day.
And it's just
like super petty too.
And it would be draining on you, just negative energy.
Oh, it is, man. Like you're dealing with that every day, every single day. It's like, oh God. Like,
yeah.
Oh, what is it now?
But
like, oh, you want the Ken doll.
But
like
really?
Know
what sucks, man. As I said before, I would love to be like that. But if I was with someone and they cheated on me, see, I would
be like, no, it's all mine. Like, fuck you.
Literally, I think I would keep that negative energy to make sure they don't just. You know how it is. You know, people are like, oh, just leave it. It's going to be fine. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, no, that they basically get what they want again. They've cheated, and then they get what they want again. How messed up is that?
Yeah, I'm not having that.
Same with child support. Again, we always say context is key. There's some people out there that aren't getting enough child support and they really need it. They really need
most definitely. No, you're spot on.
Then there's other people who...
And they're just almost abusing the right, I guess.
Definitely. And I guarantee...
They're already living a lavish life. They don't really need the money per se. They make up some sob story and you're like...
Even if they aren't...
Really?
Even if they aren't, they will somehow get, let's say, $400 or $500, whatever it is, and maybe 100 goes to the kid.
Yeah,
and the rest is going to
is like with the parents
him
getting
and her,
like
and their new partner,
bit of cosmetic surgery here or there.
Yeah,
that new handbag, that new Gucci,
alcohol, could be anything.
Smokes,
and I hate those situations, and those ones suck so much. Because imagine if you're divorced, you're working your ass off. You look at your paycheck, which is probably not that great at the beginning. Well,
especially now that it's just you.
Yeah,
like you, depending on how many children you have.
Yeah.
As well, like single dad, single mum, like, you know, you've gone from like having that joint spending together. Now you got to pay rent or, you know, because you split the house 50-50 or 70 whatever.
So, man, let me give you this scenario, right? If I think the perfect way to go about it is if it's a mutual breakup, you just go 50-50 in everything.
Yeah, 100%.
And you both see both point of views and you just discuss it out. But it would be very hard. But there's so many scenarios where, okay, you've got a girlfriend, let's call her Jane. You guys have been together 8 years. After that 8 years, you find out she's been cheating on you for 6 months with another bloke. You guys have kids. Anyway, divorce. She wants to take way more than 50% because she thinks she earned it. She's now with her other man, you know, and every second weekend.
Who's in her ear as well. Being like, oi.
And now your kids are meeting this bloke that your wife cheated on you with every weekend. And not only that, you're now paying her a big amount on top of everything after the 50% or the higher of the 50% amount that you've given her through the divorce. Can you imagine that? How petty would you be?
I know shit. And you wonder why people get frustrated. They give up. They're like, what's the point? Like,
they go on the dole.
This is ridiculous.
There's some people
man.
that do
like,
that.
It's actually ridiculous.
I could not sit there alone in my house. Half my savings is gone that I've worked, we'll say that 8 years for.
You've worked the best part of 8 years plus.
Yeah. Half
as
is
well.
gone.
All the time, all the effort.
And every week, a good chunk of my paycheck is going back to my... There should be, and you just can't do it because it's too hard. If there was some way that there was a system where no matter what, you knew, let's say you had $1,000 and 400 went each week, or 300 went each week to the mother. If somehow there was a way to know that 300 went nothing but to the child.
Yeah.
Somehow,
like exactly a direct debit straight to them.
Everything to do with school trips, everything to do with just
it's
their
almost
food.
Like prepaid for.
Yeah. Nothing to do with the woman or the guy.
It's like genuinely like preschool, primary school, high school, uni,
healthcare.
It's all
dental,
paid for.
Anything.
Like they themselves don't see the money
at all.
But
they don't
like,
touch it.
But they will just go to school and they're like, oh, apparently I'm going to the snow for camp.
Yeah. And maybe they have, instead of money, it's a Woolworth voucher.
Yeah, something like that. Just something to benefit them.
But I can completely see how you can't do it. There's no way to monitor it, and there's no way to make that accurate.
Oh.
You just can't. So it's pretty, it just sounds like an awful scenario to be in, to be honest. That's why I'm not getting married. Like I've been like that for
quite some time.
I don't want kids either. It'd have to take someone
very
really special later down the line too. Like I'm talking
really
mid-30s. And if that's something they wanted so badly, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, compromise.
But other than that, I don't personally see the point in marriage because I do not like, I would hate having a wedding. All I hear about weddings is that they're super expensive. The day is all focused on you, which I would hate. And you can't really celebrate it because there's so much going on.
I
find can't party and enjoy yourself.
I find that funny because I feel like yourself and I could maybe be perceived as people who do like, in a sense, like the attention. We like to be the class clown per se. I don't know if you're the same, but I say this to a lot of close mates. I'm always like, I actually might come across as a guy who, again, does like the attention and whatnot. But when actually all eyes are on me, I'm genuinely like, nah. Yeah. Like I like to have like my close mates, like maybe like that 4 or 5 who are like, I'll pay attention to what you say, man, like sort of thing.
Yeah.
But when everyone's genuinely like, I'm like, what are you looking at? Like,
see, I'm comfortable as ever right now, having a blast. If somehow we were doing this in front of a crowd, I would.
Oh, my anxiety would be mate. I reckon I'll be a sweating mess.
Yeah, and a girl I remember when I worked at a supermarket way back, she went for the cheapest wedding option she could, and she went just to a country club, and she said all up, the planning, everything, it cost her $20,000, and that was for a real basic, and I'm talking basic wedding.
Just go to Vegas, get married by Elvis.
See that if I had a partner who said, yeah, no, let's not spend 20 grand. Let's go to Vegas and spend 10 and have an absolute ball. Probably the girl for me.
Yeah.
There's something stupid like that's a funny story that would last very long. And then I can come back and just have a party for like $1,000 at my place and just everyone enjoy themselves.
And the best part as well, I feel like with a wedding, it's always hard. I feel it's almost like an 18th birthday party.
Mm.
Somehow, some way, you're going to piss someone off because they didn't get invited.
Oh, definitely. Screw dealing with that.
But you can't invite everyone. And no offense, like, you don't want to invite everyone.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds bad, maybe a bit self, but like...
Yeah.
I don't know offense, man. Like, if I have cousins, second, I don't really. Why should they be there on my special day?
Yeah.
Like, really, it's like you've never gone out of your way for me, and now all of a sudden I'm getting you want to
Because it's
exist.
family.
Like,
That's the same. Yeah,
I don't agree.
because I have family I see just Christmas and that's it. And it confuses me because you would have had the same. We've had family where it's been like, hey, you need to come to this. It's your family, and I'll sit there and it's like, if the roles were reversed, I couldn't care less if they come. I see them once a year. I see my fucking mailman more than them.
It sounds bad, but at the same time, it is a bit like, at the end of the day, we only have so much time. Like, seriously, like, I know this is very philosophical. I can't even say the word, but it's we've only got so much time. I don't know if I'm willing to waste my time where I could be learning a new skill, putting like time into a business, energy, gym, health, whatever.
Yeah.
And all that when it's not going to be reciprocated.
No, I fully agree.
It's like, what do I gain? Like, again, and it does come across as selfish.
Yeah.
But I feel like you get to a certain age where, and I know that it was for me, where you go, I'm sick of trying to please everyone, doing everything. I really need to get my shit together, put myself first, and get myself to where I want to be.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that is going to take some sacrifice. And maybe, the 10 mates that I had, now I only have 5 because 5 mates like, oh, what the fuck, you're never free, blah, blah. But then those other 5 mates will be like, man, no, go do your shit, go work on yourself, get that bread. When you're ready, we'll catch up, and it's going to be a fucking amazing time. And that's how it should be.
You're definitely right.